Welcome to Greek for a Week. I'm glad that you are going to be viewing this week's video. We are going to be concentrating on chapter 2, verses 14 through 16 in the book of Philippians, which for the past couple of weeks we have been concentrating on the paragraph of verses 12 through 18 of chapter 2. So 14, 15, and 16, let's translate them and then we'll talk through a couple of things. It says here, do everything without grumbling and arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God, above reproach, amidst a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you appear as lights in the world, fixing your attention on the word of life, so that I can boast on the day of Christ that I did not run in vain, neither labor in vain. So I want to talk through a couple of things. Our first verbal form, poiete. The verb form, or the verb, is poieo. And as I attach the ete ending to that, which would be the second person plural, present active imperative form, when the ete gets attached, that's why you have the epsilon and the iota. With the circumflex, you have a contraction of vowels that takes place there. And then as we move to verse 15, we have a hina, a conjunction here that is a hina. It's a purpose clause. So the purpose for the command of doing everything is so that, right, you would become blameless and pure. Then it says children of God. The theou, the genitive form of theos, is a possessive genitive. In other words, we are the children and we are possessed by God. Then you also have a perfect passive participle, feminine genitive singular, and that would be this verbal form here. It's an attributive participle. It's describing, it's going back and it's describing the generation. What kind of generation, or what is the attributive quality to the generation? That is, it's perverse. Then you also have another verbal form here, fineste, which is the second person plural, present middle indicative of phino. And what's interesting is it's the middle voice. And that middle voice there is potentially emphasizing the subject, and that is the Philippians to appear as lights specifically in the world. So we have an opportunity to be an example before others. Then verse 16, you have ekantes. You have a participle here, which is the present active participle, masculine nominative plural of echo. Participle of means, that is the means by which we appear as lights. Well, we hold on to, or we fix our attention on. So this would be the means by which we are appearing as light. So it's the means by which this verb here is done. And then a couple more things. You have the eis kalkama. Eis kalkama, you have a prepositional phrase here, probably purpose or goal. BDAG defines this as, that is the joy, the kalkama, that which constitutes a source of pride. And you can paraphrase the expression as my pride or joy in the day of Christ, and that would be referencing Paul. And then lastly, what's the content for the boasting or the pride, which is kalkama again. The content would be a hati here of content. So again, a number of things here, several verbal forms that we talked through, verses 14, 15, and 16 of chapter 2. Trust you have a great week. We'll look at the final two verses next week.